Good morning, children. Today we'll be starting with a new chapter, that is the great grandmother. Okay, just a minute. Poem number 2, Great Grandmother. This poem is written by Alan Maylie. Okay, Alan Maylie is a famous English author. We can know more about him in the further classes. Okay, so let me read the poem one time, then I'll start explaining it by line. Okay. She looks out at me from the yellowing photograph, misted over by time. It is a frank and serious look. Her eyes are stern, but they can laugh too. Her hair is pulled back tightly in a bun, and on her black dress she wears no jewelry. I never knew her, yet I recognize myself in her. 3 generations later, may my great grandchildren feel as close to me as I now do to her. Okay, so here the poet Alan Maylie is talking about his great grandmother. Okay, great grandmother means in Kannada we'll call Muttaji, right? Grandmother's mother is called great grandmother. So, mother, grandmother, great grandmother. Okay, many of the people wouldn't have seen their great grandmother because they would have already died, right? There is much year gap between us. So what he's speaking is his great grandmother is already dead. Okay, they just have her photo hanging in the house, and he's speaking about how that photo is present in his life. Okay, so he's saying she looks out at me from the yellowing photograph misted over by time. Okay, so this photograph would be very old now, children, because great grandmother means it would be pretty old, like 50 years 60 years old photograph would be there. That photo will become yellow after some time, right? Even books also, after a long time it will become like white, paper will become yellowish, right? That is what he's speaking about. And misted over by time, misted means dimmed. Okay, misted means dimmed or blurred. Okay, it won't be much clear because it has been kept there for a very long time, for many number of years, so it has become discolored and dimmed. That is misted. Okay, it is a frank and serious look. Her eyes are stern, but they can laugh too. Her eyes, the great grandmother's eyes, are very frank. Frank means straightforward. Okay, her eyes, the great grandmother's eyes, are very straightforward, very stern also. Stern means pretty strict. Okay, and but they can laugh too, means the eyes are very happy also, very straightforward, very strict, but they're happy also. Okay, her hair is pulled back tightly in a bun. Her hair, no, usually grandmothers do that, no, they do pull their hair back and tie it in a bun. And on her black dress she wears no jewelry. She is wearing a black saree or any dark color sarees, no. The our old grandmothers, great grandmothers would wear dark color clothes so that when doing everyday work they wouldn't get dirty, right? So they are wearing, she is wearing a black dress, but she wears no jewelry. She is not wearing any kind of jewelry, children. I never knew her, yet I recognize myself in her 3 generations later. Okay, so the poet is saying that he never knew her because she had already died when he was born. So, but he can recognize himself in her. Recognize himself in her means what is happening is we look little like our grandmother or great grandmother, right, children? We look like our ancestors only, little bit, like our nose or mouth or eyes, something would be very similar. We would have got that through our ancestors only. So he is saying that he is recognizing some features of himself in her. 3 generations later, right? One, for the first generation is the great grandmother, next generation is the grandmother, next generation mother, next generation is the poet here. Okay, he is saying that after 3 generation, maybe his great grandchildren, may his great grandchildren feel as close to me as I now do to her. Okay, he is thinking that maybe his great grandchildren, no, would see his photograph also and would feel that they are very close to her as he does to his great grandmother. Okay, this is the poem written by Alan Maylie. I'll just read it out again. Please repeat after me, like read it out 2 times and then you can start answering the questions here. She looks out at me from the yellowing photograph misted over by time. It is a frank and serious look. Her eyes are stern, but they can laugh too. Her hair is pulled back tightly in a bun, and on her black dress she wears no jewelry. I never knew her, yet I recognize myself in her. 3 generations later, may my great grandchildren feel as close to me as I now do to her. Okay, so just read the poem 2 times and start open your classwork and just write on poem name, write the poem and stick a picture of any, like if you have your grandmother's photo it's okay, but you can stick any other old person's photograph and write the glossary. Okay, next answer the following questions, just read it out once and check whether you will be able to answer it or not. No need to answer it, I'll give you the notes, but just read it out once. Okay, thank you children.